give you. Oh, you mean for what? For the show we're doing tonight?
For watching live.
Yeah.
I don't have a link for that.
Let me put it here. Let me give you something here. You're in the dock right now?
Give it to me.
I'll put it in
Skype. Yeah.
There you go. I just put it in Skype.
Merci.
Oh.
You're welcome, miss.
Let's see.
And you didn't even answer in a French accent.
No.
Oh,
you got like
I am
more
sorry.
American.
You are welcome, Miss McKinnon.
Ben, c'est câlisse, là. Pourquoi tu parles comme ça?
Oh my God, you have a Canadian accent.
Ah.
Are you from Canada?
Ben oui, là. Ouais. Québec, là.
You're cracking Patrick up now.
Tabarnak, là.
This makes me want to do I want him to do like a little animated cartoon with that voice in it. That's pretty good.
Mais je suis anglophone, là.
Mais tu parles français du Québec?
Ben ouais, là.
Mais c'est fantastique.
You guys are making it. You're making it so I don't want to shave my armpits. Is that what this is supposed to do? Is that what's supposed to happen here?
No, that's bull hooky. I shave my armpits every day.
You have to every day. You're a hairy man. Only Patrick gets a 5 o'clock shadow in his pits.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, well, we haven't even started. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. This is the stuff we're blowing on the pre-show.
Yeah,
wait till
we should
serious.
do it. So the easy breakdown, if anyone has any questions, is Tom takes this top talk stuff and he kind of breaks them down, kind of speedy we like, but everyone is encouraged to pop in if you want to say something, if you have something to say on the subject. But they're kind of considered the shorter little bits at the top of the show. And then we'll do an ad, and then we get to the main stuff. Patrick, you've been through this, so you know this. And we'll talk about the big stories, Cosmos, that other thing, and those other two things. And those are a little bit more discussionary. We can go a little longer form on that stuff. Then we do your pop quiz. Casey, it's all movies, TV, and sci-fi. Pretty excited to ask you all those questions. Patrick says, yes, we, right? And then we do a little forecast prediction. And then we do feedback and stuff like that. It's real easy. Simple. Hour. Boom, bam. You're out. And the world's better for it. All right?
Wait. The world's better because we're out?
Yeah, no, because we did the thing that we did. We came here, we conquered it, we went away. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And the world returns to normal.
All back to normal. Chat room, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you people here. Who are you calling you people? Let's see.
Yeah.
Knew it as soon as I said it. That's it. I think we're ready. Is everyone good? You guys all have whatever you need? You guys are all set?
Where?
Absolument.
I only know one Canadian accent, and it's Bob and Doug. And that's it. That's all I know.
That's what?
Never mind. You're French. You don't know about those guys.
Aww.
They're
Bob and Doug.
Yeah. Robert and Doug. Come on.
Robert and Doug.
Jeez. Okay, I think we're ready. Here we go. Gonna count it down. Play the little theme song. Oh, probably ought to record it. Hold on.
Nah.
I'm just thinking.
Why not?
Wouldn't be a terrible
Then
idea.
it becomes commercial.
Right.
It becomes an ad. It's not
Also,
real.
I'm wearing my entire outfit is from Ren.
Those shoes are Prada, you liar. All right, here we go. Tape is now rolling. It is official. We're recording video and audio, and it begins in... Wait, where's my play? Oh, there it is. Okay. Begins in 3, 2, 1.
I have
Current Geek! Hello, everybody, and welcome to Current Geek. This is Current Geek. It's a podcast. It's the weekly proceedings of the meetings of the FROGPANTS All-Stars, Geeks of the World, and you to keep you current on all the things that matter the most. That gavel means something, folks. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Tom Merritt. Hi, Tom.
Our proceedings are underway, Scott. That's what that means.
Hey, we missed last week because you were in South by Southwest.
I apologize for that. I was on an aeroplane.
Do they call it South by for short? Because I want to punch
Yes.
people when I hear them say that. I don't like it.
Yep, they do.
I don't like it.
South by. They're like, well, South by. We ain't got time for that.
You going to South by? No, I'm going to South by Southwest. Get it straight.
You don't like shortening things, huh?
No, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I am big fans of. I'm a big fan of bringing on good guests, smart guests. In one case, a returning guest today. Let's start though with our new guest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program, Casey McKinnon. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm great. It's been since Forecast, since you were on a show that me, Tom, and you were on at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so let's celebrate this for what it is, which is a fantastic moment in internet history. See? Look at the excitement on her face. It's good to have you here. It's super stoked to have you here. And then our returning guest, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from France, where it's midnight. It's Patrick Beja. Hello, Patrick.
Thank you so much for having me as, I believe, your first returning guest.
Yeah, we haven't done this except for you.
That means something. It's like you must really love me, right?
Yeah.
You love me, right?
You couldn't get anybody else.
You're the Sally Field of French guests.
Really love.
No, here's the truth. Some people might accuse me of grabbing Patrick as a last second thing because we missed, another guest pulled out or something. That would not be true. I picked Patrick again because he is like funny and interesting, and we like to have him on the show.
Hear this, other guests?
Yeah.
I'm funnier than you because I got picked first.
Don't worry.
It's
You'll
like dodgeball.
Girls,
We'll see,
you're all pretty.
All right. Well, it's good to have you both here. We're going to get into the geeky topics of the week right here, right now.
Herbert Hoover, Secretary of Commerce in 1922, finds infant radio facilitates news gathering, as do many others in high public office.
Thomas Merritt, take it away.
Hey, happy Pi Day in the United States.
What?
I don't know. Canada does the March 14, not 14 March thing sometimes. They kind of play it both ways. But yeah, 314 Pi Day because 3.14. And it's also March of 2014. So if you do it that way, you can say it's Pi Month. And thus begins the yearly debate over whether Pi Day is better than Tau Day, because Tau is essentially twice pi, and that happens on June 28th.
Yeah, but the Pi Day is better because they should have a Tie Day. There probably is one, actually. I'm sure if you look
It's called Father's Day.
Very nice. I think Pi Day is better because you get to have an excuse to have pie. Like
Sure.
that happened all over the place. My kids' school today,
Yeah?
they all had pie today to celebrate.
No kidding.
Yeah, and they brought in a bunch of cherry pies.
That's
why
sweet.
you're fat.
And why I'm fat. Whatever.
No, you're not fat.
I've lost a ton of weight, but probably because I haven't been eating much
Did
pie.
you notice that? Casey McKinnon says, that's sweet, kind of a nice pun. It, keeps things light. Patrick Beja just goes right to insulting Scott.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you in your face.
I was just insulting America in general to establish my Frenchness right at the beginning of the show.
Listen, you got you with your reverse dates, Patrick. You just go have a lot of fun on 31st April for your Pi Day.
Oh.
Nicely done. I don't know how you come back from that, but I hope that you guys one day will celebrate it. Look, it doesn't mean the whole country suddenly stuck their fat faces in pies today. I want that to be clear. It may be true.
I think you guys are just trying to make me fat this week because yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
We did you that. That's why Scott invited you on the show.
That's why you planned Pi Day after my birthday.
Of course. Absolutely. That's great. I love having birthdays, and I'm glad you had one. That's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it happens every year.
Yeah.
There was another birthday this week.
Oh, you're kidding. Who?
On March 12th, Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 distributed his proposal to improve information flows of a web of notes with links between them. He didn't call it the World Wide Web at the time. He actually was calling it the mesh.
The mesh.
But yeah, that 25th anniversary of him presenting the idea of the World Wide Web was Monday.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm glad he didn't mesh it up.
Yeah, see?
Oh, Tuesday.
So when did you, this is a quick question for both of you. So Casey, when you first saw your first web page, where were you and what were you doing and how did it change your life?
It was probably, I was living in Scotland in the late 90s.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of late to the party.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, that's cool. You were living in Scotland. That's kind of rad.
Yeah, it was cool. But it was funny because it changed, I think email more changed my life because the idea that I could email my dad in Canada who it was really hard to organize how to talk to him on the phone because of the time difference. Patrick understands. So it was really hard to communicate, and the idea that I could send him an email through my friend's email address and contact him instantly, well, as soon as he checks it, was such a great idea. And I watched that friend put together computers. And I actually thought, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to study computers and I'm going to do what he does. And I didn't. But I sure did think about it hard.
Well, it seemed pretty cool at the time, let's say.
It was cool, man.
Patrick, how about you? Where were you when you had your face in a bowl of cheese or something? Like, what happened? How'd it work?
Well, of course, as all French people do all the time.
Right.
But I was actually at university, and so this 25 years is when he first published the paper, but the first iterations of the web came a little bit later. I remember seeing it born on I was in IT school, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I was using command text computers, the super old black on green stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was also using X11, was it? GUI. Well, people will remember that, but it's not very interesting. Anyway, Mosaic. I launched Mosaic on a window interface on the Unix computer that we had, and I went to a page at CERN, which was the first web pages. They started the first web pages, and I was completely blown away. It was like, oh my God, this is going to change the world. And it was like 93, I guess,
93,
something
94,
like that.
Maybe somewhere in there.
92, yeah, 92, mm-hmm. 93. And already when I first sent an email, I remember, so Casey, you'll enjoy this. I sent an email to a guy in Japan. We were talking about manga. I was very much into this at the time. And I sent an email and I was like, okay, the email must take a couple of hours to get there because it has to go through lots of different servers and stuff. And then the guy replied to me instantly, and I was like, "Oh my God! You mean you can like chat instantly? It's incredible."
That's the stuff that blows you away, right?
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff. You forget how sort of seismic that change was. It was just a huge deal, and here we are now. I could send you 50 emails right now that you could get just as quickly, and you live in France, and it didn't cost me a dime. It's crazy.
And you usually do most days, and I tell you to stop, but you don't.
And they're all offers for Viagra,
right? From me directly, friend to friend. Casey,
I bet you there's like a 13-year-old boy watching this right now, going, "These people are weird. What are they? What?
They're old," is what he's saying.
You're so old, man.
Oh God, why are you talking about when you didn't have electricity in outhouses?
What's the 90s?
The only constant is that they're going to have their version of this too one day, and I'm excited for them to experience it, whatever that is, however they get there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's that big a change doesn't happen all that often.
No.
It's like electricity, probably running water, and you're like, do you remember when you had to throw your poop out the window?
Remember when we used to talk at the dinner table?
Wait, who threw their... What was going on in France before toilets came into...
Why were you throwing it out the window?
Is that what you guys did?
Outhouse or
I won't comment further.
All right, fine. Seriously. Little history. I like it. Anyway.
Well, we're not going to have a web in the future because it's all going to be ruined by the NSA, or at least that's what Edward Snowden warned when he spoke via Google Hangout at South by Southwest on Monday. He said they're setting fire to the future of the internet. The people in this room, you guys are all the firefighters. We want secure services that aren't opt-in. If you have to go to a command line, people aren't going to use it. If you have to go 3 menus deep, people aren't going to use it. He basically called on the developers of the world to create easier, safer security and encryption tools.
So I'm a little behind, but don't we know where he is, like physically where he's sitting when he does this stuff? And when I say I mean,
he's in Russia somewhere.
Okay, so if he's in Russia, we don't know where in Russia.
So we know exactly where he is. He's in Russia.
But
but they had 7 proxies when he was delivering that. But you know what? If I were them, I would have said 7 proxies, but it would have been like 14.
Oh God, you're probably right about that, Casey.
Because you don't want them knowing exactly how many.
Yeah, he used all the proxies. Well, I guess that was part of my question is
Dutch proxy.
When he does this and does it over a service like Google, Google Hangout, like we can all use anytime we feel like it. Do you think that just drives the NSA just slightly crazy, Tom? Like if you were them, would you be like, damn it, he's right there. He's there, but he's not. We can't trace it.
I mean, it's not like they don't know where he is. They just can't diplomatically get to him.
Good point.
It's not like it was when he was flying from Hong Kong and everybody's like, is he on the plane? Is he not on the plane? Like they pretty much know where he is. They're not sending an assassin squad after him.
Yeah, and you know, if he dies now,
in
the early days, maybe it was going. They could have done something like shady and assassiny and NSAE, but now. If he dies, it's going to be the biggest headache and make him a martyr. And they are hoping every day, praying that he doesn't fall in the stairs or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
They want to extradite him. They want to bring him and put him up on trial.
Exactly. So they're not gonna discreetly assassinate him.
No. Who wants to be killed discreetly anyway?
You know, have the umbrella thing, the umbrella gun thing.
Well, hopefully they're not after web cartoonists very soon, because this next story reminds me of what it might be like to be that.
Before you move on to the next one, though, actually what he says, I think it holds a lot of truth and strength. I don't think that. Yes, the NSA is ruining stuff, and there's a danger that things are going to be, worse in the future. But I also think that there's a very strong truth in the fact that we are the ones who are making the web. I mean, the geeks, the technicians, the IT professionals, the guys the hackers in the good sense of the word. And I really think that for those people, there is always going to be ways to use the web we want to use it. For the general public, it might be different, but we're always going to have, if we put our minds to it, and I include myself in this because, you know, I want to be part of it, but actually it's other people that are going to be doing the job. There's always going to be ways to have the tools that we need to keep the web what it is. So it's good to have this call to action, I think.
Exactly how I feel about it. Yep.
I'm not sure the right people were really in that room, but because it was on a Google Hangout and it's the internet, everybody could see it. Everybody could hear the words. So,
are you saying they were a bunch of stoned hippies? Is that what you're getting at?
No, actually, I'm not saying. Almost the opposite. It was a bunch of hipsters from New York and San Francisco working marketing for the most part.
It's worse.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Tell me about this SKCD thing. I love Randall
Munroe. So
Munroe.
Randall Munroe does XKCD, has a blog called What If, where he explores the answers to like hilarious scientific questions. The example they use in the Ars Technica article is, how intense would radio waves have to be to stop a car from going over the speed limit? So instead of using the radar to detect speed, could you blast radio and slow things down? Great fun questions like that. He's actually going to be putting out a book of some of the things he's put up on the blog and some that took longer to research, and he wanted to treat longer than he felt could fit on a blog. So he's putting out the book, and it's already cracked the Amazon Books bestseller chart. In fact, it got right up to number 2 in overall sales, according to Slashdot.
Comic artist, makes good, does a freaking Stickman comic every other day, whatever it is now. And look how far it's taken him. You know, when we first, I want to tell this from the perspective of somebody who has run his own webcomic for over 10 years. All right. So I've been doing this a long time, trying to compete in that space. Me and friends like Scott Kurtz and the Penny Arcade guys, we all work really hard at it, various levels of success. Along comes this dude who can't draw. It's all stick figures, but the mind on that guy's freaking shoulders is all it needed to carry it. And there's a real lesson in there for comic writers and artists. If you think you're really good, sometimes it does not matter how well you draw. Sometimes all that matters is that your ideas resonate, and that's how they spread, and that's how they get bigger. I think that guy is a freaking genius, and I'm super stoked that he's doing this. This is great. I would read that book.
Have you pre-ordered it?
It's really about the writing, right? It's not really about the comic. It's not like he makes the stick figures funny. It's just what's written above their heads that really makes it work.
Part of it, but I would argue that if it was, let's say he came to me and said, hey, I want you to illustrate these ideas I have. So let's say he never did the stick figure thing and he came to some other artist and then they're doing the actual art. I think the whole thing is less effective because
that's true.
That art can be distracting from his sort of mental smear that he's putting into these comics. And I think the simplicity of it actually lends itself pretty well to what he's doing. And there's a lesson in that somewhere for people who are trying to create comics and work like that. I don't know what that lesson is. I think it's kind of baffling and hard to sort of nail down. And if it was easily duplicatable, everybody would do it. But it's hard, and I find that infinitely fascinating. So
kind of reminds me of Kate Beaton. You know, she's very sketchy she's not that sketchy, but she's very sketchy in the way that she draws, you know, but the ideas are great and they come out really well.
She also captures crazy sense of emotion in her panels. She's really good. Like you can see she's got an illustration I'm looking at right now of her version of Wonder Woman and 3 different sort of looks on her face. And they're kind of priceless. Like she could be the most amazing realist artist ever, and I'm not sure it would have the same effect. Yeah, she's really good. I'm glad you brought her up. She's awesome.
Did you know that XKCD doesn't mean anything? It's been torturing me for years.
It
doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turns out all I had to do was go to Wikipedia.
Wait, the internet? What? Okay.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Happy birthday.
If you trust Wikipedia.
Yeah. He's sketchy. That Wikipedia.
Who's that girl you were talking about?
Kate Beaton.
Beaton, Beaton.
And her webcomic is Hark a Vagrant.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go look her up on that.
I think you'll like it. It's very interesting.
On the Google.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's one of those, it's really, you look at it and you know you're not looking at the best artwork, but you kind of are looking at the best artwork. It's hard to explain. But
there's naked people in there.
Well, look, you live in France. Every billboard is naked people.
You live in sheltered France where you never see naked people. I apologize.
Well, there's turtles having sex. There's penises. There's boobs.
You're just describing my average Saturday night, so I don't know what the problem is.
Prude.
She's a Canadian too, so take that for what it's worth.
That's why. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a Canadian accent to the nudity, if you notice. Hey, let's hear a story about a hero. McSweeney's Mike Lacker has a brilliantly dramatized description of fixing his girlfriend's parents' Wi-Fi as if it were a hero of the medieval age going to battle against dark forces. And then Vulture.com did it one better and took a dramatized reading of the McSweeney's post and illustrated it with this amazing cartoon.
Yeah, it's really well done, and it's voiced by, what's his name? John J. Benjamin? Is that it? I always forget his name.
Oh, do you mean the guy that did Cave Johnson's voice?
Yeah, and
he plays like J. Jameson from Spider-Man. That's why you're saying his name.
Oh, maybe that is why I'm saying his name.
But he has a different name.
He did.
It's not J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man.
No, it's definitely not that.
It's not. It's
the
actor
who played him.
The guy from Oz, like the white supremacist guy from Oz.
No.
The animation was done by Jesse Benjamin.
No. It's what's his name who does Bob's. He's Bob from Bob's Burgers. What's his freaking name? Something
J.
Benjamin.
Jonah Jameson.
No.
It's H. John Benjamin.
H. John Benjamin.
Oh, different guy.
Yeah. Okay. He was Coach McGurk on the old home movie show. Anyway, he's Archer on Archer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Having him be in that was the most awesome surprise of the whole thing for me because I love everything that guy does. So that's awesome. I was gonna play a little bit, but I can't freaking find it. Oh, here it is. Want to hear just a taste of it? Oh, yes. Wait, it's not here. This is the weird link.
If you click on the McSweeney's article, there's a link in the McSweeney's article.
Oh, all right. It's somewhere. Here it is. H. John Benjamin. I found it. Okay, now I'm gonna play it. This is real time, folks. Just be blown away by the speed at which I have pulled this up.
Intestinal casing, fat.
Vulture is slow. Here we go. Okay, I found it. It's all kind of early video gaming.
In which I fix my girlfriend's grandparents' Wi-Fi and am hailed as a conquering hero by Mike Locker. Lo, in the twilight days of the second year of the second decade of the third millennium, did a great darkness descend over the wireless internet connectivity of the people of 276 Ferndale Street.
Anyway, it goes on like that, and it's fantastic.
Apparently, you needed to unplug the router and plug it back.
That was all it was. But then the TiVo had something weird going on with it.
Oh, that's the cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It's really well done because it's like you feel how when your grandma or parents or whoever has problems with their Google, and he's like, and they minimized the Internet Explorer and maximized it again.
They hooked up three mouses.
It's just really well.
None would fix it. Yeah, it's really, really fun. And if you like the graphic style of kind of, I would say, late Atari age kind of graphics, maybe early 8-bit, it's really cool. Really good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
BBC has updated the Infocom Classic Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in anticipation of the 30th anniversary of the radio scripts. If you poke around on the BBC Radio 4 site and get to their extras, you might find it. Otherwise, just Google it. But it has like little illustrations now. So when you like turn on the light at the beginning, you see the room to the right. It's kind of neat. If you never played a text adventure, for goodness sake, go do this. It's one of the most fun, but also be prepared to die a lot.
Yeah, it's good. Plus, if you like Hitchhiker's Guide, why not? It's good times.
Who doesn't like Hitchhiker's Guide?
Well, nobody. Who doesn't? My daughter read the whole thing. She didn't like the 5th book. That was it.
I don't know. Patrick and Casey are being suspiciously quiet.
Yeah.
Maybe they hate
It's because I'm thinking of Rambo Last Blood right now.
First Blood.
Which
No,
No,
Rambo Last Blood.
There was a Last Blood.
Yeah. Oh, if you guys don't know about this, then you guys should go and play it because it is kind of like a, 16-bit type. It's a side scroller and it's with Rambo and it's amazing. Go Google it and like play it. And it's all about Rambo trying to get into Valhalla because he dies. And then he has to like hug.
I found it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It'll make you laugh your head off.
All right. That's a
And it
great
refers-
recommendation. That's
It
good.
refers to all these great 80s movies. You have to remember those 80s movies to really or video games to like solve the puzzle.
Casey, I feel like we have to turn in our nerd cards because we didn't hear about this before until you said.
I like how Casey just big timed us.
Yeah, big time.
You know, like we're like our little text adventure update. And she's like, last blood, bitches.
Yeah, Rambo Last Blood.
Yeah, and at first, and here's makes it worse. At first, I was like, "Oh, Casey, it's First Blood. Have you not seen the film?"
No,
Nope,
man, whatever,
she was
dude.
right the whole time. How embarrassing.
Yeah,
Well, let's talk about first kisses because
I just want to say I did read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You implied that I didn't. Tom.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did.
So now move on.
All
Now,
right.
now you can.
Did you read them all?
Did you like it? I implied
No, I
you
just-
didn't like it.
I just read the first one.
And what'd
Me
you think?
too!
What did you
Right,
think?
yes.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, it was okay. It was good.
Oh,
42,
it was
you know?
okay. It's such a
Yeah, it was
it's such a
Oh,
seminal.
Thanks for all the
I
fish.
agree with
No,
him. I agree with him. And you know why?
Why?
Because I got to the end of the book that I paid $15 or almost $20 to buy that book. And I found out, oh, it's a series. And I'm going to have to spend $100 buying the entire series. So I was like, forget it, guys. Forget it.
I got all 5
Maybe
in
I'm
one
just gonna take
collection.
my second place math trophy from about the same time that I first read Hitcher's Guide and jam it into my ear. Here.
That's right. You missed out
You know
though,
what?
because Restaurant at the End of the Universe is an amazing book. Yes, Patrick.
I enjoyed Dragonlance a lot more. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm sorry.
You guys
I
still
liked
into?
it. I'm not saying
Are
I
you
didn't.
still into like weird actors from over here? You still think Jerry Lewis is the man? Like, what's going on over there?
Just move on,
All
Tom.
right.
Let's talk about kissing because that's geeky. Actually, there was a viral video that went around of strangers kissing for the first time, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing!" And then it became, "Oh, it's just an advertisement for Ren clothing," and then the internet turned against it and became the Green Monster. And then I noticed Jimmy Fallon, of course, Jimmy Fallon's going to parody it. He did it. First lick, and it was strange animals licking each other for the first time, which is very cute. And then Casey found what I think is the coup de grace, which is Funny or Die's take, which Scott, I'm not sure if are we allowed to say the
We can
full,
totally say the full title. It's not a
it's
problem.
first shit, ladies and gentlemen. Strangers taking a dump for the first time in front of each other.
And it starts kind of the same way. It's the same style. It's the same kind of film. Everything, the lighting, even the couples look kind of like the couples from the other thing.
Oh,
It's frightening.
should I go first? Do you want to go first? Oh, this is awkward.
In fact, at
Maybe we should
first,
turn the fan on.
at
Hi,
first, I saw
My
it and I
name's
went.
Casey.
I thought it was the same thing. Like I thought
Yeah.
it was just, it's another one of these.
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
And then
Because they use the same music and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's same
Yeah.
style.
it's
awesome.
rough.
Yeah.
So thanks.
So are we
Casey.
gonna get first?
You're welcome.
First,
I have a friend in it.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
But the original video is actually cute and well done, and I think it's nice. But I don't understand why it suddenly has to become totally hateable if it's a commercial, especially since they it's not like they hid it.
Yeah. Well, did they or didn't they? Because a lot of people were confused. I'm not arguing for
Well,
them. But,
Scott,
you know.
you have to remember that a lot of people are idiots. So
Oh. Wait
Yes.
a minute. Now I get it. I get it.
that's
now.
an important part of the equation.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The Frenchman
So-
speaks the truth.
That's right. The man who invented French kissing has spoken the final word on the subject.
That, you know what? That's what bothered me about the original video, was that people were like slipping the tongue, and I was watching it going like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
You
And,
do a video like
everyone's
this.
Everyone's sharing it, going, "Oh, it's so beautiful!" And I'm like, "Are you looking at the same video as me?"
Yeah.
It's not. They're not like, gonna go like do a whole video if they're gonna do like a small kiss on the cheek. It's like, oh, should I
It's
go
like,
for? Should I? It's like,
Look, these people met before. Okay, they're actors.
If they're actors and they had met
They're
before, like
You
Tom
don't
has suggested,
French kiss somebody
Yeah.
right away.
then yes.
These-
well, okay.
I'm
tell
just
you
saying.
a story about my life then.
Okay, go.
Someone very close to me once worked on a reality show that purported to have people deciding whether to choose one house or another to buy. And like 50% of the time, they'd already actually closed on the house.
Well, you know what, Tom? I heard someone say that actually the American government is listening to everything everyone's saying, right? Are we going to start believing every rumor we hear?
I don't even know where
That's
that fits.
impossible.
Yeah, that's a stone tooth.
That's
thrown
crazy
too far.
talk, Patrick.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, I am all for French kissing all the time. For
You just call it
everyone,
kissing,
Ugh.
right?
Look, it's not that I don't like French
Yeah,
kissing.
what
It's
French people call
it's just
French
some
kissing?
total stranger, and the guy looks like some kind of scrub, just moving up on the girl, just blah. Let's stick that tongue in there as quick as he can get it in there.
does not.
And some of the girls were like,
Seriously.
ugh, like hold on.
Patrick, what do you call that in French? What
Yeah.
is French kissing in France?
Oh, French kissing.
It is. You still
Really?
call it that?
No, of course not.
No,
What are
c'est
you
quoi,
doing?
là?
Cocky,
it?
It's called
cocky
our
bastard.
kissing.
Our kissing.
Our
National
national
kissing.
kissing.
Bisous avec la gueule?
Avec la,
C'est
avec
quoi?
la langue.
Little event was caught
Embrasser.
hour
Long.
kissing with
Embrasser.
Jeannie at the school.
Embrasser? Oh.
Long
Just
kissing.
embracing?
Yeah, long.
Get it?
Gene Simmons. All right. Well, way to end that whole segment. That was really good. I'd like to tell you that our friends at HelloFresh.com will not send you a French kiss. They will send you instead a awesome, freshly packed, farm fresh ingredients to make awesome food. All you got to do is go to
French kiss
HelloFresh.
their food.
That's right. If you want to make out with a piece of meat, then then now's your chance. HelloFresh.com is the place. They make cooking fun again. Patrick's killing me with his laugh. Every week, our chefs create delicious recipes. You pick what you like, and they send you those ingredients. In 30 minutes or less, you're a genius, and everyone loves you. Visit HelloFresh.com. They'll deliver it straight to you if you're in their area. And if you are, use Current Geek 50 for 50% off your next order at
And
HelloFresh.com.
even though you haven't met the food before, you can rub your tongue all over it.
Right?
They should make this their slogan. Seriously, like you can French kiss a piece of meat. That would be terrible.
Gross.
In case you missed a look at one of the best-dressed beauties of the early 20s, here's another look at her. Had enough?
All right, it's time for the main stuff today. Let's talk about Cosmos a little bit because Casey brought it up.
Drinks?
It's a good reminder. Hasn't been that long.
The show.
No, the show. Is there a Cosmos drink? Is that a thing?
I thought you meant Cosmos, like more than one.
Oh, got it. Is there a Cosmo? I've never heard of that. Is that a drink?
That was the pilot episode with Carl Sagan.
Oh, okay, great.
No, there's a Cosmo. You know what a Cosmo is,
I've
right?
never heard of a Cosmo. I know what a
Oh, yeah.
screwdriver
It's,
is.
it's short for Cosmopolitan. The
Oh,
drink is called
oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh, great. You're like a South
Don't
by.
pretend like you didn't watch Sex and the City.
Scott was
Yeah.
I never saw a single episode of Sex and the City, and that is the truth. None
Really?
of it. Nope, none of
It's
it.
an awesome show. Well, it
Wow.
was.
Yeah,
know how
I
good
don't
it
know. Was it?
is.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? People tell me
Yeah,
about that
it
about
was.
girls. They say that about girls. I watched 2 episodes and I never want to watch it again.
Well, it is true that I enjoy. Oh no, girls no. Girls is horrible. I don't understand that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Cosmos. It's not. Sorry.
Cosmos.
Yes.
Cosmos. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson and picking up where Carl Sagan left off. Produced by Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy fame, which seems like a weird fit, but he is apparently a huge fan. We already knew he was a big sci-fi guy and would like to see Star Trek on TV again. You always hear him talking about these things, but this was a project near and dear to his heart. It came out. What did everybody think
So it's
of it?
about the moon getting thrown off the orbit of the Earth, and it
No.
no okay
No.
No, but you should do a little show like that. I would watch it.
That's
the
Space 1999.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, funny tidbit, in France, it was called Cosmos 1999.
Cosmos?
Wow.
So that's fine.
Can't even
I
say
see where you're going with
Cosmos,
that.
right?
No, this is attempting. I mean, I think it's amazing that they got Fox to agree, even on a Sunday, to bring high quality scientific program from one of science's best, most popular communicators to television. And everybody was very excited about this because it was, trying to continue the tradition of Carl Sagan. It had Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was going to talk about science. Casey, what did you think?
I did not watch the Carl Sagan version. I had never seen it before. But I was really excited about this. I would cry every time I saw a commercial with joy, just the happiness that I was about to see this. And I watched it. I was disappointed at first because it was so simple and so easy. And I didn't really like the spaceship idea.
Yeah, the
green
green
ship.
ship.
Okay, guys, we're in a spaceship. We're discovering science. Okay. But it got better after the first commercial break. Finally we were getting into things that were deeper and more interesting. The thing is, I've done this. I did this in college. And so I was looking for more excitement, more things that I hadn't thought of before. I didn't get there with the first episode, but I understand that the importance is to get other people into science. It's not about me. It's about the younger generation, or, changing people's minds so that we can have better science education, more people getting into science. So I hope that the non-geeks and the common folk of America, I hope that they loved it. I really hope that they loved it. And I hope that the numbers stay up. But one thing that I actually had a problem with was watching it and understanding that this starts at 9 p.m. and all the kids are in bed. I mean, this should be on much earlier. This should be on 8 o'clock, or maybe 7, but probably 8 o'clock. It kind of felt wrong that it was on at 9.
Yeah, I mean, with such a time-shifted culture in TV, for us, for example, so my kids are in bed at 9 for school, and I wanted them to see it. So I immediately got it off iTunes and said, everyone sit down the next day and we're going to watch this thing. So I think, people really want to. The question is, will they? And hopefully they will. My only real issue with it is not even so much my issue, but Justin Robert Young brought this up on my morning show this week, and I thought it was an interesting point. He is a self-proclaimed atheist, yet he did not like religion being drug into it, and it was in a pretty negative light, but he really didn't like that. In his mind, it was like, look, focus on the space. Let's focus on the mysteries of what's going on out there, how long we've been here, what are we doing, and don't worry about kicking up, political dirt over a subject like that. And I kind of agree with him. I kind of wish it didn't need to do that. Maybe it needed to, but I wish it didn't need to. I want to just do like the Carl Sagan days, and he also spoke out against organized religion. And
well, you're talking pretty much about the cartoon about Copernicus and the church, which is funny. I didn't think at all about that being a religious issue because it's history. Sure. And even being taught like Catholics growing up, we were taught Copernicus got a raw deal and the church was crazy back then. So it didn't feel to me like it was taking pot shots at religion per se.
Yeah.
I'm also an atheist. And when I was watching it, I was just thinking this is sticking the knife in Christian America and twisting, because just the kind of, it's very delicate. What we want is for rural America to watch this and go, science, wow, it's amazing. But then you have all this history of, and I heard this history in college. So, I know that people find it to be a very important process in understanding where we are in science today. But yeah, I did feel like we could have skipped that and gone straight to the science, because I do worry about bringing in the religion if it's going to turn people off, and people will be like, well, I'm not watching this show because they're going to, they're insulting religion.
Yeah, part of it is I grew up always feeling like science was never a divisive issue for me growing up. My parents embraced it, taught us that was one of our most important subjects in school. I always tested high in science. I've always had an interest in it. It leads to all sorts of other things, science fiction and other things that sort of inspire men to go further and reach farther, and all this stuff's great. But I just don't want it to be a political fight. And I don't want it to be a thing where we got enough of that. We can do this in 1,000 other places, 1,000 other ways, and it should happen. Those discussions should be ongoing. There should be that debate.
But this, I get, and I don't mean to make a debate about it, because I think you guys are not necessarily wrong in some quarters, but I really think there's a little bit of overreaction from the atheist community to some extent. Of saying like we should have just left it out altogether, because this is not a diss on religion to say, oh, Copernicus faced opposition at the time. But I also got, and Brian Brushwood and I talked about this on Cord Killers as well, I also got that this cartoon was not very good, in my opinion, and I loved it. That was a bigger problem for me, is like I just don't really like this. And there was some over dramatic, like the evil religious Pope guy, looking like a villain. So I could see where it would be taken that way. But I also think it's important to talk about history, and you're not going to be able to leave out the history of religion as long as you're not taking pot shots at current religion, which I think would be totally
unfair. Evil religious Pope guy is a great title. Anyway, yes, Patrick.
This whole thing is so weird, seen from, horrible socialist France. It's like you guys make science into this. It's almost like by championing it so much. I don't know if it's a reaction to an attack on science, but by championing it and making it, yes, science is great. It will bring, it's like, it's just weird. Science is not something that's even up for debate. It's almost like creating an issue.
Well, it's always up for debate, but that's the process.
I guess for you guys,
even the nature of science,
the fact that it's like, for us, we don't have to champion science because it's a we like electricity and we like our iPods and iPhones. Obviously, science is, we need it and we like it. It's not even. It's like,
I trust that electricity.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's exactly it, isn't it? It's like trying to make air into an issue. Are you for it? But do you know exactly what's in it? And it's like, what is this? What are you
agreed entirely. I totally agree.
And it also, I don't understand why it has to be science versus religion. I know that there are, there's a lot of things that, let's not get into that. But
you know what? I think it's because we're in a post George W. Bush America where we're trying to get back to, it almost felt like America was about to become a theocracy for a while there in Bush era America. So now we're still trying to get out of that. And we have so much religion pull and push.
But I don't know. It still feels like science, even, it's like making science into its own religion, or making atheism into its own religion. For us, if you're an atheist, you're just like, yeah, cool.
Atheism is quickly becoming its own religion, but it doesn't have very good potluck dinners. That's all I'm saying about atheism.
Hey,
I think you've been to
I
the
bake
wrong
brownies.
You do? I would love some
dare
brownies.
you.
That sounds wonderful.
My atheist potluck is the best.
Wait, you're not putting actual pot in your brownies, I hope.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm a good girl.
Well, let's go to Colorado. It'll be fine.
Hey, let's move on to something less controversial. U.S. healthcare.
Yeah, nobody's arguing about that. It's fine.
So Zach Galifianakis sat down on Between Two Ferns with President Obama, and they talked about healthcare, and it was immediately viral because Zach Galifianakis did not stop being Zach Galifianakis on Between Two Ferns. He was the same insulting guy, and the president, to give him credit, who rolled with the punches, did get a little wonky when, he made his healthcare.gov plug. But apparently more traffic is now coming from funnyordie.com than anywhere else to healthcare.gov.
Yeah, actual spike in people registering and doing all this stuff. So I would say this to my friends who freaked out and said, what's he wasting his time for? Should be doing the job of the country's business. And I would say to you, what do you think he was doing? He didn't go on there just to goof around. He actually made the pitch. He actually drove traffic to the site. That is one of his jobs right now. Why is anybody upset about this? It blows my mind. You're okay if you see Bush golfing. You're okay if you see somebody else reading a book to a kid. You're okay.
It'd have been funny if it'd been between two bushes.
One would be more respected.
That's Bill Clinton's.
Yeah, literally.
Guest episode. Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like, geez, what the heck? I don't understand why. Why is it when a president has some fun? Well, whatever. It's when people are being all partisan, they care. But if it was their president, they wouldn't care. But I don't care either way. I'm not. There are all kinds of things I disagree with about this president. There's all kinds of things he does that I think are okay. There's all kinds of things I'd like to see a third party do. But in the end, it's okay to sit down for a minute and goof off with Galifianakis. It's fine. What is the problem?
Even the thing is, ultimately, whether or not he goofed off, he was having fun. It doesn't matter. It achieved what he wanted to achieve, which is getting exposure to that site and his program. And that means that it was actually work.
Right, and because a bunch of 50...
And it was efficient work.
Right, and because a bunch of 55 to 68-year-olds who don't know what Funny or Die even is, they're the ones that are mad. But this is a whole new constituency. This is a group of people...
Yeah, it's not like he was cheating on his longtime live-in girlfriend with a non-live-in girlfriend.
What?
I'm also not worried about this because like Bill Clinton did something. Do you remember that awesome video that Bill Clinton made where he was like at the White House, like washing cars and doing all this mundane stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, he made a crazy fun video, but that would have taken a lot more time than just showing up on Zach Galifianakis' show and.
Yeah. In fact, I think Galifianakis took the set. Like literally, the set was. I don't think that was a joke at the end.
They were in the Oval.
Yeah,
they were in the
no, not the Oval.
The diplomatic room.
Yeah. So he actually came to I mean, he did less work than that. Even he was already there. He was working. So he just said, "All right, I got 10 minutes." Like it's just not a big deal. I don't know why people are so. No. And now I'm irate about it because I don't know why people get so irate about dumb things. It's like it's fine. It's no big deal.
Scott, if we can find a fix for that, let's fix people getting irate about dumb things.
Yeah, that's a great. I
think that would be a good
fruitless effort is what it would be in the end.
Well, you'll have to shut down the whole internet.
Yeah, and I am not ready to do that. Darn it. What about this Tango deal?
Well, so a couple of things happened here. One is Patrick was watching a Project Ara video. And we'll talk to him in a second about how it changed his mind about the modular phone, the block phone. Almost. That's a fair qualifier.
Patrick is easily swayed by a video. But yeah, go
the
ahead.
same research arm of Google, this is what used to be the research arm of Motorola that stayed with Google after they sold Motorola to Lenovo. That research arm is also working on something called Project Tango, which is a phone with 4 cameras and the ability to do 3D modeling in real time. So you could have your own personal street view of your house using this sort of thing. So Patrick, given that Google's pushing the boundaries here in another way with phones and mobile stuff, what was it about that Project Ara? It was a This Week in Startups, Jason Calcanis panel.
It was the launch, launch conference.
At the launch conference. What was it about that almost swayed you, and why didn't it sway you?
Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't swayed. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen now. Whereas a few months ago, when phone blocks just was announced, I was like, "That's stupid. It will never work." But they just had very elegant and convincing answers to almost all of the technical hurdles that were apparent immediately after these sorts of projects arrived. One of them, I'll just mention one because I could talk about this for half an hour, but I'll mention the how's it called? It's science and magnets, electro-activated magnets or something. It's basically magnets that have a very weak force. It's 3 newtons when they're inactive, so it's barely enough to hold the pieces of the phone together, and then you run current through them and they turn in active mode and they have 30 newtons of force instead of 3, which means they actually hold in place, but they're active and they don't need the current to still be running, so they don't consume electricity. So that in itself, you just slide the pieces in place and they hold, but then you actually activate it and they're solid. you can't pry them apart. So that, for example, was
those are just going to fall apart in your hand, or if you drop it on the floor or something.
I don't know about you, but that sounds like the devil's work. Just kidding. Keep going there.
Science.
I don't know how magnets work. But yeah, so that was one of the examples of all of the it's not just that they hold together. It means that you can just put the piece on the frame and you don't have to like lock it in or like slide it right at the right place. You put it on and it works. And so that was one of the, the technical solutions were really convincing. The other thing was the philosophy, which is a little bit different from phone locks, which was like the unendingly upgradable phone. What they were talking about was applying the Android model to hardware. And I think what they meant was applying the openness of PCs and Android as well to hardware, in the sense that with app stores, anyone can be involved in this industry. So anyone can create an app and be distributed very easily. In the case of hardware, they're saying it makes it so anyone can create pieces for phones. So you could have, fashion companies or camera makers or sound equipment makers or medical equipment manufacturers that can get into this. So you would have the basic, the ARA phone, and you could have someone who makes a Beats audio speaker module, or someone who makes a Canon camera, or a medical company that does a screen that helps visually deficient people, or stuff like that. And when you think about it like that, it's really, if this system is in place and the distribution network is already there, anyone can indeed create just a piece, and it could work. So I'm intrigued and excited when I really was skeptical before. So yeah,
it seems pretty. It seems, from what you've described, and I haven't seen the video, but that seems kind of rad.
It sounds really awesome, but I have this feeling that corporations are going to try to kill it.
Well,
I mean, it's great that you can like connect medical equipment to the module, but those medical companies are probably going to want to, instead of taking just a piece and putting it on and selling it for less, they're going to want, to make their own thing and sell it for more.
I don't know, because that makes it accessible to everyone. It opens the industry to more actors, and there's always going to be someone who is going to want to sell that tiny piece, even if the bigger player is not going to want to be part of that.
I bet you it'll work in France, but not in America.
Yeah, you guys will let it happen, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just it's possibilities that are exciting, and we don't know what it could become. So that's the most exciting part of it.
All right. Well, not since King Louis sat on the throne have I been this excited about a French opinion about anything. I don't know why I'm saying that. But what else we got here? Is that it? That's it.
That's it.
Let's get to, oh my gosh, look at this.
America scores and wins.
It's time for the freaking pop quiz. This is where you two have to answer questions, 10 of them each. Trivia. Tom over there scores it in a weird way. So you got to deal with that the entire time.
I don't like that you call it weird. It's a very meticulous, complex scoring system.
Got it. Okay, we'll go with that.
We use here. Involves a gavel.
I'm starting with, yes, he's got his gavel. So Casey, just know going in that sometimes you get more points than you expect. Sometimes you'll lose some you didn't expect. But one way or the other, you're up against the Frenchman today. And here are your questions about science fiction, television, and movies. So here you go. What kind of tea does Lydia enjoy drinking in Breaking Bad?
How much time do I have?
You have hardly any.
All right, wild guess. Chamomile.
It is. Oh no, you're right. Sorry, that's correct.
Yes!
My bad. Sorry.
10 points.
You totally got that right. I don't know why I said no.
Buzz before, yeah.
In Game of Thrones, what is the Hound afraid of?
Fire.
Correct. Nicely done.
5 points.
In which episode of Battlestar Galactica does Admiral Adama destroy his model ship in a fit of rage?
It's a good question.
Isn't it?
No, I don't know it.
Maelstrom is the correct answer.
Point for acknowledging the quality of the question.
See,
I know
look.
Star Trek episode names better than Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that's a good point. What is the name of Rob Stark's direwolf?
Wolfie.
Let me check.
No,
Incorrect.
No.
That's the name of my cat.
It's Gray.
Understandable
it's Grey
confusion.
Wind.
Yeah, Grey Wind is the actual answer. In the Breaking Bad episode Rabid Dog, Patrick Kuby says they bug Skinny Pete's house. What sci-fi show does he say Badger and Pete were talking about?
Yeah, it was Star Trek.
You're so close. Babylon 5.
Oh.
I know, right?
It wasn't the Voyager one.
No,
I was
a different one.
Oh, see, yeah, darn.
I might
weren't talking about Star
have.
Trek,
I
so
might
you
have
get a
done
half
that as
point
well.
for that.
You're still doing pretty good. See, look, half point. See, you never know how it's going to go. Next one. Bryan Cranston once starred in an episode of Babylon 5. Who did he play in the episode The Long Night? Who would know this?
Here's my answer. Babylon 5 is not on Netflix, so I don't know.
Incorrect. It's Erickson.
2 points for a fair explanation.
Yeah, nice job. In
He's
Walking
getting points with every question.
He's getting a lot.
That's not true.
In Walking Dead, careful, France. You get a doc there. He'll dock you for those. In Walking Dead season 2, what character do they spend half the season looking for?
Sophia.
That is correct. Nicely done.
Yep, 2 points.
In what episode of Game of Thrones does Tyrion slap the hell out of Joffrey?
The first one.
If you say the number or the name, you get it. So you say the first one?
Yeah, I said the first one. Pilot?
Second. Season 1, episode 2. Yep, close. It's called The King's Road.
That's just no points.
All right, good.
Well, maybe I saw them together, okay?
Maybe. Could be.
That's a half point for a fair explanation.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, I love it. All right. What keyboard-like musical instrument does Max Rebo play in Return of the Jedi? Everyone knows this one.
No, see, I'm not really
It's
that
the
big
guitar.
on Star Wars.
And by that I mean nobody knows this one. The Nalurgon. Nalurgon?
Really?
I'm taking a point off of Iceworm for that one.
That's a hard one.
What the hell?
All right,
I'm
last.
a Trekkie, dude.
I know. Here's your last one. What is the difference between nuclear fission and nuclear fission?
Oh, you're so cute.
Or fusion and fission. There you go.
Fusion is when it goes together.
Okay.
And fission is when it separates.
She is absolutely correct about that.
5 points.
Nice job.
I learned from my own video. Thanks, dudes.
You also win a game of Flappy Bird. Here we go. See how you do? Oh, it's too bad. You only made it like 3. Patrick, we'll score her up in a minute, but you're next. You ready for this?
I am not.
Patrick Beja, who should know the answer to these questions for various reasons.
I am crap at trivia. I have a horrible memory, and yeah, I'm gonna be terrible.
All right.
So
-1 for excuse making before questions.
Oh, that's too bad. He did it. Okay, so these are World of Warcraft questions, lore questions. Some people believe that since you love World of Warcraft and you love Blizzard games and you now work there, that you should know the answer to these questions. So here they go.
I am going to make a fool of myself.
Who was the Lich King before Arthas took the throne?
Ner'zhul.
You are correct. Nicely done.
Half point though for the hesitation.
All right.
And also, by the way, Ner'zhul, it was the Lich King, and he was merged into Arthur's soul. So it's not like he replaced him. They
Nobody
basically came
cares.
together.
Oh, I thought Tom would give you an extra.
Another half point off for piling on, showing off.
Next one. Who is Netherion, the Earth Warder, before he was known? What was he known as before? So Netherion, the Earth Warder, he's better known as what?
Oh, right. He's known afterwards as Deathwing.
That is correct. He went bad.
And that's Neltharion. Not
What did I say?
Neltharion.
Oh, whoops! I got.
There's an L you forgot.
I think he forgot.
Well, you're only going to get a half point for kind of being snotty.
He's so getting screwed on this deal. What was the name of
Now I'm
Arthas's?
doing it on purpose.
What was the name of Arthas's horse?
Invincible?
So far, you're not really losing. You're doing well. I mean, you are.
Well, I am losing. But
No, that's a full point right
Okay,
there.
all
That's
right.
good.
Oh, it's cool.
Finally a full
Hey,
point.
how come come you didn't ask me all Star Trek questions then?
It's a good question. We should have done that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were so into Trek. I should have dug deeper.
That's a point for Casey. That's a really fair question.
We got a Casey bias on the show. We need to check that
It was
out.
my birthday yesterday.
Ah,
Tom,
see,
just
happy
being nice.
birthday, happy birthday.
Well, it was my birthday on September 21st.
That's great.
That's a half point off for really lame.
What is the name of Tyrion Fordling's sword?
Ashbringer.
You're just nailing it, dude. What are you talking about? You don't know these answers.
Dude, that's a full point right there.
Finish the Illidan Storm Rage quote. You are not what?
Prepared. That I don't even need points for this.
So easy. You only get what, half point.
You got that one really well. How about this one? Who is the green dragon aspect tasked with protecting the Emerald Dream?
Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's just
Rushed it a little bit. All right, full point.
rushed it. He got points off for doing it too slow, and now he's got one for rushing. That's fantastic. All right,
you
here
have to do it just right. That's what she said.
All right, where was Thrall being held captive before escaping to start his legendary journey?
It's the zone just a little bit north of Tarren Mill. It's the town of God.
Oh, it's
No,
so
I don't remember.
hard.
Great God is not correct.
Durnhold Keep is the correct answer.
Yeah, -5.
Right. What is the name of the pit lord that is defending, or that is defeated by Grom Hellscream and Thrall in Warcraft 3?
Is it Magtheridon?
Manaroth.
Oh, damn it!
Close. I would have said Magtheridon if that makes you feel any better, because that's what I
-1.
thought.
Should have known that.
Who is the leader of the Kirin Tor? Currently.
Jaina?
Oh.
Proudmoore?
Look at you. You are correct. It is
I
Jaina
had to ask
Proudmoore.
though, so it's only a half point.
The answer sounded like a question. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one? Who is the most dangerous, most brutal, most feared boss in the entire World of Warcraft and requires an entire raid team to even stand a ghost of a chance in defeating him?
How many questions do we
I
have
feel
left?
that's
This is
a
it.
trick question. Gerp.
Negurp. I wish that was it. That would have been good. The answer is not true. It is Hogger. Hogger is the correct answer. That's it, Patrick. Nicely done. You did way better than I expected.
I did way better than
I don't know. He said GURP. Was that your answer?
Yeah,
your
he
answer
said
was
GURP. Yeah.
I feel like that's spiritually accurate. I'm gonna give him 28 points for that.
See, I knew I would.
You knew in the end you'd persevere. All right, so add them up. Who won? How'd it go?
All right, just taking a look here. Finishing up with 26.5 points is Patrick Beja, and with 27 points, the winner is Casey McKinnon.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, Casey. I think you deserved it. It was really a well-fought fight, and I'm proud to have lost to you because obviously your knowledge is incredible.
Yeah, I hope.
So sweet. But in my mind, I know that you won, Patrick. I know.
I do too.
I hope Guy gives you crap in the office. That's what I hope. All right, that means.
But if those questions had been all Star Trek, you would have been dead.
Oh yeah,
well,
that would have been it.
If your mom was, I don't know.
Went
Don't you dare.
Right to her mom. Dang. All right. Well, when Veronica asked this question,
how about a booby?
We launch into this.
The future promises even more startling things to come.
It's time for Forecast. It's a segment that used to be a show. Now it's just a segment, and here is a prediction that I made. Apple, and no one else for that matter, is going to make a TV. Everyone wants to think that Apple TV's next big jump, or Apple's next big jump into the foray of television, is going to be an actual television. And even though we've been hearing rumors lately that they are ready to take it out of the hobbyist realm and go into the next stage, whatever that is, it is never going to be a freaking TV. Can we put these rumors to rest? They will keep making great devices for televisions, maybe even revolutionary, incredible devices that connect to televisions. But it's never going to be a TV, ever. Do you want to know why I don't think it'll be a TV?
Yes, I do.
Here's why. Too many people have invested lately, or in recent years, in really good, decent to great televisions. 1080p, LED, LCDs, and plasmas and whatevers, right? I bought a 70-inch for Christmas. It's sitting in there and it's doing great. Everything looks fantastic on it. I am the market dude they want to talk to about new Apple products. I buy those, I like them, I'm into them. But when Apple comes out and says, we've got a 70-inch TV, I'm going to say, Can't really justify it, Apple. I'm not going to do that. Nobody's going to do it because there's too many TVs. They're ubiquitous. You can walk into a Costco and walk out $1,500 later with a brand new TV. There's no reason in the world they would ever try to compete on that level when they could do the same thing by connecting a device to existing televisions. It would be as crazy as, well, I was going to say Sony making a TV to work with a PlayStation. They make TVs, but you know what I mean. Like if they came out and said, let me think of a better example for that. How about Microsoft? Xbox One, it's going well. Things are good. We're even letting your cable box pass through it. You know what we should do? We should make a Microsoft-branded television. They'll sell some. They won't sell that many. They're better off making devices that connect to the television and take advantage of the technology people have already spent money on. There. Refute me. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
No, because
you're wrong.
Does anyone think they're going to make a television anymore?
Yeah, well, that's always the talk, isn't it? I keep reading this on rumor sites.
Because I'm 100% with you, Scott.
Yeah.
That's the talk from like 3 years ago.
Well, I still hear it. Like when Cook got up, the earnings call a couple months ago and said, we're about to take Apple TV into some really great new places. It's no longer the hobby it used to be. And shareholders went crazy. And then suddenly the rumors started up again. They're making a television. It's going to be great. It's going to be this really high definition thing, 4K, whatever. I think
not a lot of people care anymore at this point. It's sort of.
Well, I care a little. As an unplugger, I care. I want something cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, at some point, if they do announce a television, obviously it's going to be a big deal. But the rumors have been running for too long, and it's kind of boring.
Casey, what do you think? What do you think?
Well, I actually
don't care. See, she's
no. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I feel like Apple is in a lull where we're just seeing the same technology at this point. Nothing's really that new or revolutionary as we've seen in the past. So either they've hit that lull and they're just going to keep doing the same stuff and pretend it's impressive, or we will see something, but it's, it needs to be big. Because I feel like after Steve Jobs died, it was just like, okay, now we're just look, we're making a bigger iPhone, and like
smaller tablet,
a smaller iPad. Yes, it's just like, okay, who cares about size? There has to be something more. And I kind of like, for me, what I would like to see is I would like to see them start integrating into our home the way that Nest is doing. Like really like. If you want to make a box of something, make it an Apple TV, make it a projector, make it a freaking fire smoke detector, and make an entire thing for our home. That will be revolutionary.
Yeah.
Mike P. Kennedy submitted to the Current Geek subreddit, currentgeek.reddit.com, the Amazon game controller leak, which implies that Amazon's not making a television. They're not even making just a set-top box streamer. They're making some kind of multi-use device. And obviously, because it's a game controller, games is one of those. But I really love what Casey's saying, which is like, take it even further. Let it be like your home automation device. Let it be a platform you can plug things into and keep going with it.
I'm in with
control
that.
Your lights, control your heat, control everything.
Control everything. That's the slogan right there. Control
That's
everything.
The future.
Yeah.
I control.
I'm with you on all those things. And to Apple's credit though, I feel like Steve Jobs happened to die at the end of a cycle of innovation that was already entering into a iterative cycle. And I don't think that's anyone's fault. I think him dying isn't the reason that they can't seem to innovate. I think that they just were heading there anyway. This was. I
actually think that they did hit some walls. With TV, for example, they were talking for a while about like, we're gonna have TV, or there was rumors at least that they were gonna bring in TV. And sure, they've brought stuff in as apps the way that, Xbox and PlayStation do, but they haven't actually gone for live TV and bringing that stuff in. So
that's the problem. It's the content, isn't it? They know that they can't. There are tons of people getting into the set-top box and TV businesses, but the problem is the content. If you don't get the content on your machine, it's not going to matter. And they were talking. We know were persistent rumors that they were talking to a lot of content creators and TV channels, basically, and networks, and they couldn't get a deal that would be satisfactory to them, so they stepped away.
Yeah.
And I think now it might be a little bit too late, or they need something different, or it's not the right form, or so maybe they're going bigger on the Apple TV as we know it and changing it. But I can't imagine them doing a full-blown TV now. Feels like they would be getting something out that was relevant 3 years ago. They would need to find something else to make it really impactful.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. So we'll see how they do. Patrick, you wrote in here, podcasts are never going away.
yeah, I don't know. I thought we were all supposed to come up with
It doesn't matter.
prediction.
We're real loose in this segment, but I'm very curious about what you mean. You mean just obviously things could change in terms of how we receive it or get it or put it up or whatever, but audio and video content as a small producible thing that a guy can make in his garage and build a little, following out of, is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah.
That sort of thing's never going to go away?
It's kind of, so, when podcasts first came out, I don't know if I've been talking about this with different people for a while. It might even have been on Current Geek, so sorry if I repeat myself.
Well, that memory of yours, Yeah.
But yeah, I think, podcasts were, everybody thought that it was going to become this huge, enormous thing that was going to be taking over the world within, just 1 or 2 years. And then it didn't. And some people started thinking, well, actually YouTube is really big now. Maybe it's going to replace all that. And now it's been, I don't know, 8 years, and their podcasts didn't become huge and enormous for the general public, but they're still here and still going strong. And I do feel that there is something special about podcasting, be it, the type of communication you have, the topics you can discuss, the communities they create. For some reason, they're different from other communities you have on the internet. And I think there's something valuable for some people here, and it's always going to be there. So I'm not necessarily sure they're going to be going bigger, but I don't think they're going to go away, if only because I'm always going to be there in a corner of the world doing podcasts, because that's what I love to do. So there will be at least mine. But no, I do think that podcasts are here to stay for a very long time.
I hope you're right. I like doing them, so they better not go anywhere.
Well, and the barrier to entry for an audio podcast is so low. I think that's what Patrick's alluding to.
For producing and for listening to. I don't think there will be this moment of YouTube is the thing for video, because YouTube is a lot more complex to distribute, whereas anyone can distribute an audio show.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, from a sort of LA Hollywoody point of view, I see this as podcasting, web video and stuff. It's all just the future of technology. Well, it's kind of the past, but like it has driven Hollywood into a new direction. So that's how I see it. Like people will make people have made podcasts. It's like a progression, and Hollywood saw it and went like, we should do this. Mm-hmm. And for me, I just see that like it's completely changed the way Hollywood works now.
Yeah.
It
didn't destroy them.
From 8 years ago. I mean, it didn't destroy them, but it's given them a new direction, and they've had to reevaluate, their distribution and think about what they're going to do in the future.
I think Tom and I had this very conversation once on an old forecast about what it was going to do, and all these predictions of podcasts and independent media destroying the existing structure of Hollywood or radio or whatever. And it did instead what I think Tom predicted at the time, which was it just alters the course. It changes the way people perceive things, and now they've all kind of got to get up on it, and they spend some money in that space, and they create content in that space, and that's where we're at now.
I mean, look at what's going on right now with these original Netflix shows and HBO Go and Amazon Studios. I mean, people are finally competing, and getting better views than network TV.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess what led me to this conclusion was more things like even sites that are moving the needle forward in the web space do a lot of podcasting. Things like Polygon and The Verge, and they have like 2 or 3 podcasts each. And Wired is doing a lot of podcasts as well. So I think that podcasts, as we know them, not as influencing the content industry as a whole, but as what they originated as, which is a couple of people or a bunch of people getting together and talking about what they like, just as a regular conversational content thing, is still there. And you have friends list on Polygon, and the Polygon show, I can't remember. It's still there, and it's so easy to do that it's always going to be there, because you're always going to have people who enjoy talking about stuff together and sharing that, and people who enjoy listening to them talking about that.
Like people predicted radio would go away were wrong. And every time something like this happens, everyone's sure something's going to change, and usually it happens in the way.
Yeah, remember people predicted 8 tracks would go.
Oh, wait a minute. Those
the exception that proves the rule, though.
Yeah, the only 8-track I ever heard was Captain and Tennille over and over when I was a kid.
But that's the format, though. The recorded music didn't go away.
Right.
No, it's exactly.
The conveyance has changed. And as an important note, you're no longer, most people anyway, are no longer downloading these podcasts over the internet and then syncing it with a portable music player. They're streaming it to their phones, or they're downloading it directly to their phones.
Putting it on their iPods.
Right. That seems so antiquated now, but that was the big hot thing at the moment.
But it's not the majority.
Let's get to one quick email here. This is from Rob, who wrote in, says, I just wanted to let you know that those were the worst Italian accents I've ever heard. Still love the show. Rob. So, Tom, we're being called out for our Italian.
I think, didn't we try to pre-call ourselves out?
I think we did. I was pretty self-deprecating about my crappy accent.
I was not trying to pretend that I could possibly do an Italian accent.
Wow, that is a terrible Italian accent.
See,
really
just as an example that I cannot do it.
You sound like evil religious Pope man just now. That's what you sounded like.
Who is Italian?
Exactly. All right. Well, there you go. That's the show.
Not the current Pope.
No, he's all right. He's and he's kind of interesting, that guy. So I want to just thank our guests, first of all, for being here. It's fantastic. Casey, you've always got cool things happening in your life and things that are happening all the time. Do you want to point us to any of that we can tell people to go check out?
I'm on the Twitter at Casey McKinnon, and my website, CaseyMcKinnon.com, which I recently updated. But no, I mean, like, recently I made that NASA video, Fusion versus Fission.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show. It was great.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, and it's with Ellen McLean, who played GLaDOS in the Portal series. So if you haven't seen it and you love Portal, you should look up Fusion versus Fission.
I've seen it. Even I have seen it.
Oh, yay!
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we're really excited. Really excited.
That's very cool. Casey McKinnon on Twitter. Full name. That's the way you do it. That's how we roll. Patrick, who is not Patrick on Twitter, is also a man about town. What's going on with you, man? What can we point people to?
So not Patrick on Twitter. And if you speak French or enjoy tech or both, you can listen to Le Rendezvous Tech, which is a tech show in French. It's bi-weekly, and I started a Patreon, which is going well as well. And so that's cool. If you want to learn French or speak French already, or feel like listening to tech shows that are done in French, for example, just go to FrenchSpin.com. There's the Rendezvous Tech and a couple of others. So, and they're really cool. I like them.
Oh, we're good. We like you on podcasts as well. And thank you for being on again. Always a pleasure to have you both here. Gosh, what else, Tom? Oh, man, Nerdtacular.com. Nerdtacular's coming. Get your tickets now.
I will be there.
Yes, you will be. Tom is actually in charge of our podcasting track stuff that we're splitting out too, which is really exciting for me, just because he's good at it, or he's someone to blame. Yeah, exactly. When it doesn't go well, I'm sure it'll be amazing. The Double Clicks are performing.
It's gonna be fun.
We have amazing.
All credit to Schleicher and Nicole Spag. They're doing all that.
Oh yeah, they're amazing too. They're going to be doing great work. It's just going to be rad this year. So if you are interested in coming to beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, specifically the Snowbird Summer Resort, we'll be doing that this July 4th weekend, and the tickets are up now. Oh gosh, what else? There's a million things going on. Tom, anything you want to plug, push?
Well, if you like tech history, Scott illustrates a monthly Kindle single that I do called Tech History and whatever the month is. So right now, Tech History March is out there. Check it out. You can find it at tommerrittbooks.com or just search in Amazon. and find it. And it's a month of what happened on each day in tech history, and then some great illustrations from Scott. And we'll be working on an April one pretty soon, putting that out.
Yep. Calendar's still available at the store, frogpants.com/store. We're also working on Pilsner glasses, of all things.
Pilsner.
Yeah, with this show. I'm super stoked. So people are always saying, how can we keep supporting you? We want to do cool stuff.
People are always saying, how can I keep my Pilsner in a glass that supports Current Geek?
Exactly.
Now we have an answer.
Now we have an answer for you and everybody else. That's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you for being here. Andrew Allen and his theme music are highly thankable as well. Big thanks to him. And Alpha Geek Radio for our live audio stream that we have during the show. You can find the show on Twitter at Current Geek, me at Scott Johnson, Tom at Ace Detect, and of course not Patrick and Casey McKinnon. And what else? Oh my gosh, currentgeek.reddit.com. Submit your stories. We're happy to bring them on the show. Currentgeek@gmail.com is our email address. And go find us at currentgeek.com. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Tom, and our guests. We'll see you next time. Sorry, went a little late.
That's
Hey,
okay.
do you ever get like electricians tune into this show because they're current geek?
They get really disappointed.
They're like,
They didn't even mention amperage
Oh.
once.
yeah, what's up with that?
It didn't even say the word volt.
Ah.
That's great. You have my
They do
sense
a
of humor.
full face and they walk right out of that
Yeah,
show.
I would make a joke like that normally. So, Casey, it's nice to have somebody else take the heat on a joke like that.
No problem.
It's fantastic. You guys were rad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks.
That was
As
a good time.
always.
Thank you so much. I had an awesome time of fun, and I really needed it today. So
Oh,
thank
good.
you.
Aw.